Hey everyone, it's Ryan Scott from churchsetup.com, and I'm answering a question that I get quite a lot in this video today. I know I say that all the time. I'm answering a question I get a lot, but that's really where I get the video topics, is questions that I get all the time, kind of like an FAQ. But one of the questions that I get a lot is, what is the best way to record a church service so that I can remix the video later? The reason people ask this is because there's really a couple of different ways that you can do your live stream and video. So if you're streaming to YouTube, for example, if you stream, you can leave the stream video live, which is what I do because it's less work. I stream and then I just leave that video live. If something happens that I don't want to leave live, I'll mark the video as like unlisted or private. In some cases, I'll delete it if it was really bad. But when you want to stream like that, there's a downside to it. It's that, especially in the music, singers that are singing live, sometimes they go flat, sometimes they go sharp. Sometimes they don't come in at the right time. You know, sometimes there's mess ups that happen that are just kind of natural. You don't even recognize them or notice that it's happening live. But on video, it's very, very obvious if someone hit a bad note or something like that. So it shows up most of the time in the music. If you just leave the live stream up there, then you just get the raw live stream. And I know there are some technologies, if you have people that are technically savvy enough, that you can do kind of tuning so that it auto tunes and corrects if someone goes flat. It does it automatically during the live show. And if you have the technology to do that, then that's great. However, when you look at the mega churches that are posting these videos online of their services, and everything just seems to be 100% correct and everything's mixed really well, they're not giving you the live view. They might be showing you the live footage, right? But it's not the live audio. Most of the time, when you see these publications where it's live and everything's happening live, but it sounds so great, it's because they took the live footage and then they mixed the audio and then overdubbed the audio with the original footage and uploaded that footage again. So they had a chance to go into a studio and fix the audio. Now, that's one benefit of recording your service and uploading it later. You have creative flexibility. If someone hits a bad note, you can go back and fix that. You don't necessarily have to re-record it, but you can take that audio if you record it multi-track, and you can go into your digital audio workstation like Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, and there's plugins that will help you tune those vocals. So if someone goes flat, you can just fix it, and then you can upload that audio, and that singer feels happy because they hit the right notes. And so there's benefits in recording that. When you are recording a multi-camera service, you have a couple of options when it comes to recording so that you can mix the video and fix the audio and everything, and then produce a video of that recording later. The first option, well, let's just say you have three options. The first option is to record it like it was a live stream. So you're switching the cameras live, you're capturing the audio live, but instead of going to the live stream, you're going to a recording. Like if you use the A10 Mini Pro, you can record to a single video file, and then you can kind of mix the audio later, use that video file and upload it. But that gets you a single video. And whatever you do, whatever camera you choose when you're recording that video, that's the camera that's going to show in the video, right? So if you mess up and choose the wrong camera, for instance, and you're supposed to show like the guitarist, but you ended up showing the saxophone player that's not even playing, right? And you make a mistake like that, there's no way to go back and switch that if you're just doing a recording of the live stream. The second option you have is to record to the cameras. So most of the cameras, even though they'll be used in live streaming, and unless you're using like a PTZ, most of the cameras will have an internal SD card. So before service starts, you can start recording there. And if they have enough space on them, they can record all the service from their various locations. And then you take all of those cards and you have the individual video files, and you can put it into like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, and you can mix your video there, mix the audio, and then you have a great video. So that's the second way to do it. And while that might be one of the best ways, it requires so much more work, because now you have to make sure that the memory cards are empty, that they have enough space, that it's not going to cut out halfway through the service. And there's another problem as well, especially if you're using Sony cameras, which I love Sony cameras. They're my camera of choice. but when you're recording, it generates more heat in the camera. And therefore, if you're in a warm building or you're outside and you're trying to record and you're trying to run the battery and all of that, it can overheat the camera very easily in a hot room or outside in the sun. There's a third option, which is one of my favorites now, and that's using the A10 Mini Pro ISO, which the A10 Mini Pro ISO or the A10 Mini Extreme ISO. So the ISO version, the upgrade of the ISO version is that it gives you the ability to record all camera inputs individually. So you have on the A10 Mini Pro, you have 4 inputs that you can choose from. And if you just have the A10 Mini Pro, when you hit record, it's going to record whatever is showing to like program. So, you know, if you just show one camera the whole time, that's fine. But if you have 2 cameras, it's going to record when you switch to camera 2 and when you switch to camera 1. But it's bottlenecking those 2 feeds down into one, whichever one you want to show at a time. If you use the ISO, it records all of them individually. So when I go to the hard drive after service, I don't just have one video file with you know, my camera switching in between as I did it live, but I have 4 video files, one for each camera. And so I can throw those 4 video files, just like I was recording to each camera individually. I can throw all of those files into Final Cut Pro and then edit the video to my specifications. So if I'm live streaming while I'm recording, for example, I might mess up in the live stream and choose the wrong camera accidentally. But in the video, since I'm recording all of them simultaneously, when I take that and then produce the high quality video of it, I can go back and fix whatever errors I made during the live stream. So if you want to know how to record a church service for editing later, I recommend either doing the memory cards on the cameras or using the A10 Mini Pro ISO or the A10 Mini Extreme ISO and using that to record them individually. That way you always have creative license. Now you don't have to remix it if you don't want to, because I believe when it records, it also gives you the conglomerate. So it gives you the live stream version, if you will. If you don't want to edit them, then you don't need the ISO. You can do the Pro and you'll just get the live cut. But if you need to edit afterwards and you want that creative flexibility, getting the ISO or the Extreme ISO gives you the ability to remix your recording and cut a new edit, basically, of your service if you want that creative license. Some churches do, some churches don't. It doesn't matter. I don't do the re-editing yet. I'm going to, because eventually we're going to be tuning our vocals and everything. I just don't have time to do it right now, so I'm just recording one file. I'm recording like I would from the A10 Mini Pro. It's just one file, and if I make a mistake in switching in the live stream, that mistake is going to show up in the video. It's just how it is right now. But for churches that have the talent and the time and the creative want to remix their videos, then do the A10 Mini Pro ISO or just record in the cameras individually. I know if you have Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, which is what I'm talking into right now, and you're using the A10 Mini Pro, you can do something really cool, because recording to the memory cards of the cameras is an upgrade over the A10 Mini Pro, because most of your cameras are going to be 4K. You can capture the 4K footage and then edit from that. Even if you're mixing down to a 1080p video, having that 4K footage gives you much higher quality video to start with. Whereas if you're recording through the A10 Mini Pro or the ISO or the Extreme ISO, it's mixing it down to a 1080p version because that's what the A10 Mini does. So when you go into edit, you're starting with 1080p rather than 4K. So that's kind of a negative, maybe, if you want the really high quality image. However, if you're using Pocket Cinema cameras and you're using the A10 Mini Pro, you can actually record just like that in 1080p, but you can use the A10 Mini software to trigger recording in your cameras. So you can, by using this software on your computer, you can both record through the A10 Mini Pro ISO, and you can trigger all the cameras to record at the same time. Or if you want to use like the ATEM Mini Pro, you don't want the ISO, but you still want to get individual files from all your cameras, don't record on the ATEM Mini Pro. Just use its software to trigger recording in all of the Pocket Cinema cameras. So there's so many different ways to do it, but I think the easiest way, if you have multiple cameras, is just to get the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and it will record to individual files for you, and then you just have that one hard drive. You got all your files on there. You can go and sit down if you want to re-edit it, and you got everything there. Even though it's in 1080p, 1080p is still high definition, and you can work it from there. So that's the easiest way, but there's a bunch of different ways to do it. I'd be interested if you have a better way that you know of to record services. Let me know. If you have something creative you've done, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. Otherwise, subscribe to our channel if you want to get more videos like this, if you want to get more tips and tricks and techniques and product reviews and everything in terms of church streaming, church video software technology and all of that, then you'll want to subscribe to our channel. So click that red subscribe button. That will help us out. It'll make sure that you don't miss any of our future videos. You can click the little bell if you want, and that will make sure that you get all of the updates when we go live, because we're going to be live streaming and stuff too. So go ahead and do that. If you have any questions you would like us to answer, you can send those questions to support@churchsetup.com, and we'll try to work them into our content. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope your streaming is going amazing, and we'll see you on the next video.